Pioneer. Maybe not. Yes, they definitely are. I don't know. I'm not that into it. I think it's probably really bad against Rakdos, really bad against Mono Green, and like slow against aggro decks, which is just the Pioneer environment, and sounds like it would be bad in the Pioneer environment for those reasons. Win-loss overall. We're 5-0 on the day. I don't know what my numbers have been because I've been playing a lot of this deck off stream. I'm cracking this main phase so that if I drop Mutagenic Growth, I can Mutagenic Growth and Bolt. Off stream I've been playing a lot. I haven't won every single match. It's been like probably too much to really know. Winning a decent amount. So this is probably a creativity variant. Could be something else. Deck goodbye. Oh man, that was so funny yesterday. Yes, I told Essie a story. She laughed too. This kid came in yesterday, typed ! Deck, then typed the word bad, and then just typed bye. That was it. Oh boy, and they went wrong. Could be rhinos. That's true. I always see the Naya Triumph and I get confused. I might fire off this iteration if I don't find anything else. Oh, fuck! No! No, fuck. Streamer bad, bye. Oopsie. Is there some upside playing mono red Prowess compared to Izzet except for budget reasons? I mean, your mana base is like less painful. We had opponents misclick earlier, so we're due. Imagine just winning anyways here. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go Soul-Scar Mage, Grapeshot. What do you think is wrong with traditional blue-red Storm? The mana curve is just way too high, and you're relying really hard on Baral and Goblin Electromancer in a format that's like warped around killing Ragavan, which is not a good place to be. In a format now with like hard counterspell, Dothy Voidwalker in the main, it's just too slow and your mana curve's too high, and so like, which is why I like that the green red Storm version is your curve is really low, and you don't need a like Electromancer effect to be in play to win. Yeah, just getting Delirium. Game would be very different if I don't misclick there. That's okay. I don't mind this matchup with the full 4 Flusterstorms. So usually when I bring in the full 4 Flusterstorm, I do like to trim Manamorphose because it'd be kind of hard to Manamorphose and hold up Flusterstorm sometimes. I think it's maybe just all Manamorphoses for Flusterstorm. I think I want the full 4 Breaches. I think I want the Grapeshots. This is fine. So like another thing too, and this is kind of what happened with like the Heliod variant. Like that, I think that Heliod variant I played is really good, really underplayed. I'm kind of sad I didn't pick up, but this is a close hand. It's obviously very good if we draw a land. I think it's kind of not good enough if we don't. Maybe it is. We can go Soul-Scar Mage, miss, play Swiftspear, hold up, play second Swiftspear, hold up Flusterstorm. They have 3 Prowess. I'm gonna try it. Is there a reason you like Fluster over Pierce? It's just like a bit better at countering creativity, encountering living and encountering crushing footfalls. Pierce might be better overall, honestly. Like it's like actively good against blue white instead of bad. Well, I think it's very borderline. But we have 4 1-drops and like they're all really good, and mulliganing on the play is, you know, not exactly what we want to do. Sando's actually always a keep, huh? Jeez. The upside of this hand is really high. I don't know. It's close. Don't really need to have Flusterstorm up this turn, but we can. Before EE. You can't play EE in your creativity deck. Yeah, I just don't really need to have Flusterstorm up this turn, so I guess we can go just cast our third Swiftspear. They could have like Brotherhood End, which which I haven't really seen out of them. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure they play it sometimes. One nice thing about having 4 breaches in your deck, though, is like, you know, you could just kind of trade resources early. Alright, so we'll just have the Flusterstorm up the entire time here. There's that one guy obsessed with Fury and Creativity. Yeah, I've been thinking about that guy. So there's an FNM legend I hear, a Creativity player who just plays Fury and Creativity and swears by it. That guy might be onto something. Fury is really good in the deck. Like, Fury is like definitely a card you would really love to play. And it's not that bad, the Creativity into Fury a lot of the time. Oh boy, this is so gross. And we have Breach in our hand. We almost mulliganed this. Yeah, so it's kind of an interesting thought. It's also like sometimes you just hit Fury and it does absolutely nothing, and you're up against like Titan and I don't know. But sometimes you hit it. Okay, this one lander I think with like no steam vents is like a pretty clear mulligan actually. I think on the draw with an iteration you can put back a land pretty easy. Have I found a shelf with new Elishnorn? I don't usually start brewing with new cards until we have the complete set. I know I spent a whole day crying with Elishnorn and how I would never see any play ever, but that card dies to almost nothing. It dies to Terminate and Counterspell and Teferi, and that's basically it. Which is a decent amount of cards, I guess, but I don't know. It's really resilient. It's really resilient. It is 5 mana. Requires you to have other things going on. But it doesn't die to heat, doesn't die to binding, fury, solitude, bolt, push. Which does make it like pretty unique for a 5 mana creature. Fable will be pretty bad for me here. Yeah. Pretty bad. I think I dart them so I can have a flashback dart on a token available, and I can also dig a little bit deeper here. If I can find a lightning bolt, I can kill the token, feel kind of comfortable about that. I'm gonna graveyard Mutagenic Growth here. So I think what I can do is I guess I'll attack with the Swiftspear. They can have a treasure token. Well, yeah, they can. Need them to not creativity this turn, which is kind of asking a lot. This card's no card. Fuck. Well, kind of dead. Is creativity busted? When you lose to it, it is. When you beat it, it's not. And that misclick game 1. I don't know if we would have been able to win game 1. We had a much better chance though. Oh my gosh. They have Spell Pierce or something. One good punt deserves another. Am I right? We punt game 1, they punt game 2. Well, I mean, punts and misclicks are different. I think we have lethal too with Breach plus Mutagenic Growth. No comment. I'm done talking. Does this even count as a win? It's up to you, I guess. I mean, I made a misclick that potentially cost me the game 1. My opponent made a misplay that cost him this game. I mean, if your opponent's misplays never came up, then then I don't know, whatever. We're taking it. This is 11. May actually have a hard time. I don't definitely have Delirium, right? So I can go 1, 2, 3. But it's okay because I can just growth one more time for definitive lethal. Yeah, I think it is what it is the only thing to say here. What's my guess about Abandoned Breach? My guess is that Wizards, I guess is very, very important to internalize. Wizards of the Coast mostly does things at random, and is very evident from their actions in the news lately. Mostly does things at random. They also can't leyline binding me. Yeah, that does not do it. Close though. Funny that like the Blossoming Calm would stop like the Grapeshot here, but we just have Hatred, which is I don't hate my opponent. That's a Magic card. Hatred, pay X life, give a creature X power.
Hello.
Hello.
Would you like a mocha latte?
I would love one. Thank you, sweetie. Sounds awesome.
I'm a barista today.
Yeah. Is your star making you barista?
No, I'm doing it myself.
Okay. What percent of Magic do I play off stream for videos and fun? I mean, for videos, it's just 1 a week for Channel Fireball. Occasionally, 1 extra for YouTube. For fun, 0. It's this all very serious, and I would never, ever try to have fun playing Magic the Gathering, and I'm offended that you'd imply that. To practice for the stream, however, I'd play... It depends. It depends on how like successful the brewing is going, and like lately it honestly hasn't been going that well. So it's like, I guess I play the dragon. It hasn't been going that well, so it's like could have also held the Bauble another turn. I'm gonna crack it for possible Mutagenic Growth. So it's been like all night lately, to be honest. And I'm also like working on Channel Fireball articles and videos. Been pretty busy. But when the brews are going good, I'm a little less busy. I was just like running really... I mean, it's not that they're going terrible. It's just that I was running really hot for a few weeks. And I was trying to keep that momentum going. And that's just kind of the natural cycle. You run hot, then you run cold when you're brewing. And I feel like the steam is getting let out a little bit. Is there a place that has a lot of information for new players? Twitch.tv/aspiring spike right here, baby. Actually, that's not true. This is probably like the not a super beginner friendly place, like, or friendly to you, but it's hard to like just jump in for the first time or return without, like, because we kind of focus on like the the more experienced higher level plays and stuff, I guess. I don't know. I would recommend maybe CFB Pro. Which is the website I write for. I don't know, just watch a lot of content, honestly, is the best thing you can do. Just jump in, Just jump in. Dude, Prowess is so nuts. The deck is just still... It's been picking up. It's not like I'm the only one that plays it, or Andre are not the only ones that play it, but it's still just so underplayed. It's crazy. The deck is so good. The deck is so good. And also, like, it has almost no Modern Horizons cards, right? Hold on, let me bolt my opponent here. It has Dragon Rage's Channeler. And then, like, Lava Dart is MH1. I feel like there's one more. Channeler doesn't count because everyone loves Channeler, by the way. Flusterstorm, yeah. Like, I don't know if you, like, do you guys count the reprints as Modern Horizons cards? Like, is Flusterstorm, Lava Dart Modern Horizons cards? I guess you count them. I mean, this could just easily be Spell Pierce. Maybe it's even better as Spell Pierce. Yes, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird for me. Like, one thing too is, like, I think as far as the reprints went, and this is maybe not the... Okay, what are they even playing? Oh, they're playing creativity. We'll just do the same sideboard the same way we did last time. Another thing is, like... all the reprints, I think, were a slam dunk, besides maybe Shardless Agent. I think all the reprints were a pretty big slam dunk. I do, they're in a similar power roll-wise. Yeah, I mean, it obviously doesn't matter in the long run. I don't count them if they're one-time standard legal, so Lava Dart, Counterspell, and if they're like commander products like Flusterstorm, Shardless Agent, you do. Okay, true. Kind of a philosophical discussion that doesn't matter very much, which is, you know, what Magic players love more than anything else. What Magic players love more than anything else. Philosophical discussions that just don't fucking matter. Yeah, and like Dragon Rage's Channeler doesn't count as a Modern Horizons 2 card because everyone loves Channeler. The card is just, it's just the bitter reunion of Modern Horizons 2. It's like even the haters of the set are like, not you, my precious angel, Dragon Rage's Channeler. You've done nothing wrong. You've done nothing wrong and never can do anything wrong. See, look at this hand. Yeah, the card that everyone wanted Delver Secrets to always be. Yeah, everyone loves Fury too. I'm convinced that everyone that plays Fury, like the whole internet, is just old humans players, you know. They all just go online for refuge. I really think that if humans had like one more good payoff though, like it was really disappointing to me that in Dominaria United there was the cycle of lords, the 2-mana lords, and the fact that the white one was a soldier payoff and not a human payoff was really disappointing to me. I think, okay, with second Channeler I might not upkeep Mutagenic Growth. Hey, humans isn't terrible. It's really hard to build. Okay, you know how every Twitch chatter just like they just love. Okay, I only get Delirium. I only get to beat this if I get Delirium, and they can spell pierce the Mutagenic Growth. But I'm missing lands. I think I'll let it resolve. And now I have Delirium if they have another bolt for this Channeler. You know, but you know how every Twitch chatter just loves to debate the like number. Oh man, we're so good at top decking today. The number of like, you know, what 3-drop is the best for the deck. The best deck to debate grindy 3-drops is humans. Like to play like what number of Adeline versus Ranger Captain versus Imperial Recruiter versus I like Mantis Rider is not very good, but like potentially Mantis Rider, Reflector Mage, General Kudrow, Hamlet Vanguard is a pretty big beefy boy. You have a lot of options. That is like the hardest part of humans. Do you think there are certain cards you don't play because you get them recommended too many times? Yeah. This happens sometimes. I get like content brain. You know, my like card evaluations are never perfect, and nobody's card evaluations are perfect except for Esther's, and I've definitely felt myself being resistant to trying things that I've kind of like turned down many times before. Dude, Turn to Earth is so bad. I've turned down many times before because I like, you know, my previous evaluations didn't like it, whatever, blah blah blah. And I've been trying to get better about that, but it's difficult to, and it's just difficult to overcome your biases as a person and as a Magic player and as an e-boy. Andela, 13 months, thank you. I know my opponent has Spell Pierce. I want them to cast it. I also want to get Delirium. Nice. Alright, graveyard that for Delirium. We have another copy anyways. And then, because we have Delirium, I'm not going to cast the Bolt. I might want to Bolt like a Fable token, or of course, just a Dwarf. Oh yeah, there's also extraction specialists. Yeah, it's tough. Humans is a hard deck to build. I remember, you know, this is something I always find so funny, but like when like towards the beginning of Modern Horizons 1, like someone trophied with Ragavan and humans with no copies of Esper Sentinel. They were playing for Ragavan instead, and like there was like a huge community reaction to Ragavan being broken because humans is just playing Ragavan, but like Sentinel is so much better than Ragavan beyond just being a human. It like fits in the archetype much better because there's you know, you want to be resilient to removal and you don't have removal to force your Ragavan through, and you don't have your tribal payoffs. It was just always so funny to me though. It was wild, and I was screaming, please play Esper Sentinel instead, and people were like, Esper Sentinel is ass, Spike, I'm never gonna play that card. It's actually a pretty good draw. Can we play humans on stream? We have in the past. Like I'm like open to working on it some more. It's been a while since I've like, you know, opened that door, so that could be a door we open. Think humans should move from 4-card to be green-white or just white, be more aggressive? It just doesn't cost you very much to splash is kind of the thing. I might flush back the Lava Dart. No, I need it for tokens. No, they're gonna target it though. Oh, they didn't target the dart. Okay. Alright, let's oh no, I know my top card is Sacred Foundry, so I'm not gonna get Delirium, so we'll just hit them. Peacekeeper? Yeah, I don't know. So I know Peacekeeper is really good in Legacy. I've seen it casted in Modern a few times and been like incredibly underwhelmed. I'm not saying that it's just bad, but I'm saying that I do think that there's like characteristics of Legacy as a format that make Peacekeeper like good there. Ancient Tomb, creature removal being more scarce, mana efficiency being really valuable, disrupting super fast combo decks, keeping the initiative. Like the vigilance on it's like really big because of the initiative. So again, not that it's bad, but it's not quite the slam dunk either. Okay, I think I'm gonna keep Sacred Foundry on top. That can go like, oh, where did this go? Why don't I have Sacred Foundry on top? Did I shuffle somehow? Does Turn the Earth make me shuffle? Yeah, shuffle. Okay, I didn't know Turn the Earth made you shuffle. Wow, this card's broken. I think I probably have lethal here. It's I have a hard time imagining I don't have it with I should be able to Mutagenic Growth like at least 3 times. Probably 4 because of the Lava Dart. All right. We are 7-0 on the day. We had some opponents lose matches they maybe could have won though, which maybe you need to do to be 7-0 sometimes. Really, like no matter how you build the deck, as long as it's let's keep this. I don't know if I hold the baubles or not. Kind of depends on what they do, what I draw. Jegantha mirror here. So like no matter how you build prowess, you're gonna be able to like win on turn 3, turn 2 super rarely. Like it's really hard to build prowess where you just don't have your really fast draws that kill your opponent very quickly. That's true even with Third Path Iconoclast. Like Iconoclast does make you slower, but it's still a very fast aggressive card that will kill your opponent quickly. And that like the most important thing with prowess is to build a deck in a way that you are resilient to the efficient removal spells in Modern. And so that was why I liked the Iconoclast, was it made you a lot more resilient to removal. But 4 Underworld Breach makes you incredibly resilient to removal. It just gives you an insane late game that most decks just can't beat. And what's awesome about prowess is you have the best late game in the format and like the best early game. Which is a very, very rare place to be in. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just cast my baubles. Or I'll cast 1 bauble, look at my top card. If it's a land, I won't cast the other one. The Patchwork Automaton in mono blue. I've tried it. I like it in scales, or like it's good enough for scales. I don't love it in mono blue affinity. Okay, there's a land. There's always a land on the one on top. Think there's any competitive way to build Eternal Command Ewit plus Cryptic? I got second place in 2 challenges with a deck like that when Uro was legal before Modern Horizons 2. It was a Bant Ephemerate control deck where you would like ephemerate your Witness and then you would get back Cryptic Command. You could do that every turn. Mystic Sanctuary back Cryptic. Ephemerate is a better way to do that than Aether Vial. I don't think that is a strategy I would recommend at the moment, unfortunately. With Mystic Sanctuary and Uro being gone, it's just kind of hard for me to get behind it. But I guess what I'm saying is, with like another like good creature to ephemerate being printed, or another way to abuse Cryptic Command like Mystic Sanctuary being printed one day, then in theory, yes, you could see that card come back. Dude, Channeler is really good. I kind of want to draw the Channeler. Let's pass. What do you like in place of automatons? I'm on 2 relic, 1 jar, 1 nettle cyst in its place. I really like nettle cyst and affinity. It kind of depends. So usually when I play affinity, actually I play a bit of a bigger version, and this is not stock, and this is like not actually like necessarily feedback on your variants. But I always liked this list a lot. Although I've gone through some worse versions lately. Okay, okay, I don't actually recommend this list. Hold on. I kind of massacred the deck. I was playing Psy and Reality Chip because I was like really excited about Paradise Mantle, but I tend to like the bigger variant. Like I would just play Nettle Cyst probably over. I was playing Nettle Cyst before. Okay, I don't know. It's gone through a lot of versions, but I like the bigger mono blue that plays Urza. Not quite that list. You can probably dig into Stream Decker for older versions. Yeah, opponents should be playing Grixis Shadow. Grixis Shadow has been picking up in popularity with Breach being pretty strong in the archetype. And definitely supposed to infer that that's the deck at the moment. Yeah, that's another thing. Like right now, you just don't really need Cryptic Command for that plan. I think that like a Time Warp is a better payoff. May take a look at your Soul Flare Surprise deck for money. Do deck text for $15 or 3 gifted subs or channel point redemption option. Why did early MH2 lists get pushed out? I feel like they're pretty strong. So, like, one thing is that the food variants and Hammer Time variants put a lot of pressure on the affinity decks. Ooh. So we can go Morphos, Breach, Channeler, Bauble. Just a 2-for-1. Let's Morphos first. I think there's a good chance they have like Drown available for this this Breach. I think I'm okay. Just bobbling a few times. I think I get 3 bobbles here. I need to get like faster on my Breach math. I'm not graveyarding that feels bad, but yeah, it should be 3 times here. Just like Ancestral Recall, Treasure Cruise, whatever here. Yeah, this is exactly 3. Pretty good against the 1-for-1 deck. Then we can actually use this Surveil as a real Surveil, and yeah, I'm gonna keep another Breach. Yeah, Breach is just broken. It is just broken. Alright, so if I look at my top card and it's a land, creature, sorcery, I can save this with a Mutagenic Growth. Oh no, sorry, they have Delirium, never mind. Close one. I can't redeem a deck tech. Yeah, well, the channel points are on a cooldown, so you can wait for the cooldown to be over, or you can fork up the fucking cash, or not. Sandpit with the $15, thank you. If you post a link in the chat, I'd be happy to take a look. Thank you for forking up the fucking cash. Let's keep that on top. Yeah, if it's an exclamation point deck, right, I should be able to get it. So the sand pit, that's you, Daniel? Because it's a different link. Sand pit, okay, it seems like it's you because this is the affinity shell. Yeah, I'm a big Nettlecyst fan. Okay, so they're also on the Breach plan. Also on the Value Breach plan. Let's see if they maintain Delirium after casting this heat or not. They should be able to. Yeah, okay. So let that go. Yeah, so one of the hardest things with Affinity is, I think, like, the number of 7 mana Affinity spells to play. Like, you see a lot of people playing 8, 6. I think this number is a little weird. Trying to figure out what the best version is. Welding Jar is also a hard card to figure out the right number of. I think I like 2. I'd probably go down a Relic and up at least 1 Nettlecyst. I think in this, when I say I like Nettlecyst, usually I'm playing a version with a bit of a lower mana curve. Also, we do have lethal here. We can go. I think this is I need to get better at my math. Of course, need to go to a remedial math course. But this should be. This is at least 2 Mutagenic Growths plus Dart plus Flashback. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Prowess triggers. 6 plus 6. Yeah, that's 12. Never mind. Never going back to school. That's the wrong deck? Okay, well, okay, then don't lie. No, please. Please. Forget all the advice I just gave. But also if a mod or someone could find the real deck tech, that'd be great. Yeah, no, I'm just teasing. It's not that big a deal. This deck is broken. Do you think 1 copy of Blood Artist could be good in Red Black Sack? I wouldn't recommend it. It would be like. This is a word I've been saying more of, and I feel like it sounds like I'm just shitting on it. I think it would be suboptimal. I'm not like trying to be really harsh when I say that. I just think that. I think that the list is better off without it. It wouldn't be embarrassing. Thank you, Horsuit. I think it would not be embarrassing. It'd be fine to play, but I think there's just better options. Demonic Dinner. Oh boy, so this is the Soul Flare's surprise. Do we got Uktabi Drake in the deck? Okay, so I think in a version like Soul Flare like this, that is, you're just literally all in. You're literally all in, and you have no other plan. Cavern of Souls would probably go a long way in the counterspell format to getting your Soul Flare to resolve. That being said, as far as like overall deck construction goes, I do think that you have an issue. I'm gonna go back to Manamorphose. I mean, it's tough. I think the Bauble is better than the Manamorphose here with the Breach. So like it's tough, but you have way too many cards for your troll for your Soul Flare with like no way to tutor Soul Flare, no way to consistently find it, like salvaging. You're just like literally always having to draw it, and you also only I think have 7 discard outlets, and so it's like it's awkward to be playing like Gurmag Swiftwing in your deck and Utabi Drake and it's like, so like I also don't know why we're not playing the full 4 as Zatapa. Zatapa is the best creature to go with the Scavenger. I guess the lifelink. Does this have lifelink? Flying, First Strike, Vigilance, Trample. Double Strike, Flying, Vigilance, Trample. Like the Akroma is just strictly worse than Zatapa. Why is this not the 4th Zatapa, you know? Additionally, like I would really want to see you play 1 mana spells over these Abrupt Decay Assassin's trophies. I want to see like 4 push 4 Thoughtseize in your deck. I want to see Grizzly Salvage as a way to put cards in the graveyard and dig for your Soul Flare. And I also want to see you not put Gurmag Swiftwing in your deck and not put Utabi Drake in your deck. And it's just like you just only need like 1 Zatapa and your Soul Flare is good, you know what I mean? Haste. I know that it has haste. The card is incredibly underpowered, and there's got to be better ways to get haste on it, I think. The Keratin's really good. Or at least like not like 8 of these ways, you know what I mean? Oh, Akroma has haste. I see. Oh, Akroma's okay then. I missed that. Okay, I see. That's what we're saying. I had a kind of an interesting Soul Flare build that I keep meaning to return to. This is very different. Maybe we can give you some ideas, but I'm not just suggesting this. But this was a kind of like a blue-black Murktide style Soul Flare deck where you have Striped Riverwinder, which would be a card that I think would be great in your deck if you can facilitate blue mana. It cycles and it's a hexproof card, so it just goes to the yard, gives your Soul Flare hexproof, which is really important. And then the idea is that you're using Ledger Trader, Tainted Indulgence, Consider Scour, just to get 1 Zatapa and or 1 Drugskull Reaver in the yard. And that's all you need. You just need like 1 of these big things, and your Soul Flare will be big, large, and in charge. And you also have a couple Murktide regions too. I keep meaning to return to this deck. I don't think I've ever streamed with it, but I think it's cool, and I think it's got some potential. One thing is like the Ledger Shredders are kind of mid because you don't have Baubles, which that's the place I was kind of stuck. But I think you do need the extra discard outlets. So that's something to think about. I think we just bolt this, play a tap Steven's Pass. But as far as this goes, you know, I do really recommend going down on just the creatures, going up on 4 Grizzly Salvage, no Abrupt Decay, no Assassin's Trophy, 4 Thoughtseize for sure. I'd also like to see 4 Fatal Push in the deck. I'd also probably like to see like 1 or 0 Noose Constrictor. I think that for the most part, the Noose Constrictor is not one of your. It's worse than Lot with Troll, and I don't think that you need 7 discard outlets, or at least you shouldn't once you move towards the salvages, if that makes sense. I recommend Orvar in the sideboard for the creativity matchup. I recommend Path of Peril for the Murktide for the Hammertide matchup. All right, let's see. It's been a weird game. It's been a very weird game. Duel of the Jeganthas. Can I donut deck to make you play your own deck? No. This is weird. I don't like it very much. But I do need to fill up my graveyard for the Breach, and this line does that. And the Jegantha is also very scary, honestly. But again, I don't like having to take this line. If I draw into the land, I'll Jegantha, obviously hoping to not continue to get kind of flooded. Bitter Reunion be interesting with Soul Flare? Yeah, I agree. Something to look into. Alright, let's go Swiftspear. I guess I opened myself up to Spell Pierce in a way I'm not very happy with. Still up a game. It's a whole lot of respect for Big Elk. Yeah, I mean it's not just the Elk, it's also that we have do I double dart to save my Swiftspear? I think I do. It's also that we have to fill up the yard for this Breach, or I think we should. Think it's possible to hit Breach and Hammer? No, don't. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Okay, so we can go. We have 9 cards in the yard. There's only 2 spells. 6. I'm going to Twitch Prime. Appreciate you. So I think we just bolt Bauble. All that work, huh? Ooh, they're still playing Kroxa. Thank you, Jegantha. They have a land, they can Kroxa me. Kroxa's gonna be hard to beat this game. We have game 3 also, if we fail this one. Okay, so I'll play Bauble, bolt them in response to them, escaping Kroxa, crack Bauble, start my next turn with 2 more cards. Breach in mill. Broke it. Totally broke it. Yeah, just kidding. That wasn't clear. So yeah, Scalding Tarn, they're drawing Flusterstorm next turn. Hopefully their one mystery card is not another Well, I guess I just have to split it like this, where I can't keep Expressive Iteration knowing that they're drawing Flusterstorm. Another Lightning Bolt. So I think I have to discard the bolts, take 6. Aver, 16 months, thank you. So I think I'm going to get cast Swiftspear from the yard. Cast Swiftspear from the yard, Bauble twice, hopefully hit my opponent down to 4. 2 more cards in hand, discard one of them to Kroxa, and hopefully the second Swiftspear plus other spells next turn can finish my opponent off. Yeah, I think obviously we could Bauble an extra time and just cast the Swiftspear from hand instead, but I think that the Swiftspear in hand will help us win next turn. Or that's the hope at least. That's the cope at least. Ragavan can kill me if my opponent hits a burn spell, but otherwise I go to exactly 1 if I discard a spell to Kroxa, which I should be able to do. Grapeshot, okay. If we're going to discard, we should fetch looking for dart. If we're going to discard, we should fetch looking for dart. When should we have done that? I'm confused. So I'm going to discard the Manamorphose since they're going to block with the Ragavan, so Grapeshot kills the Ragavan. And also, like, theoretically, 2 damage, 2 damage, 2 damage. They have to break it up with 2 things. Oh, they just have a bolt. Okay. I guess they have the Flusterstorm, though. Yeah, they have the Flusterstorm. Oh, we saw Bolt. Oh, we saw Bolt. You Bauble myself, saw Bolt, and have Breach in hand. Well, no, you just need to find any spell there. Like, Dart is obviously the upside play, but it's a huge disaster if you just draw a land instead of, like, the spell. You know what I mean? You have to, like, any spell, I think you just have to discard. And keep in discard. Or maybe we're so behind, like, finding Dart is just, like, the only way to win. But I didn't necessarily feel like that was the case. Alright, I like this hand. It's 1 land, but it's also all 1 or 0 drops. Alright, I have... So usually I'll crack Bauble in my turn. If I don't have Mutagenic Growth, but if I do have it, I just wait and make their discard a bit worse. Will I play the deck that's like KCI today? Not today. I actually have a few different, like, possible variants that, like, I'm kind of worried are worse, but I'm working on. Either trying to play, like, more creatures in Heartless Summoning for redundancy, or potentially, like, the Tron lands plus Karn is kind of an interesting direction as well. And that build has been pretty tricky, but I'm working on it. All right, strike 1 Bauble down, and 2 will take its place. Any chance we could have a dedicated day to brew together during the week on stream? Love the Wizard Combo Day. I love that day too. It was great. This is like a somewhat common suggestion, like have a scheduled brew day on stream. The problem with the idea is twofold or maybe threefold. Is that like one, okay, if they heat, I might just bolt them. Let me see what my top card is. One, like, if I have an idea that's like good and I want to try out, then all of a sudden I'm incentivized to wait like 3 or 4 days, whenever like the scheduled day is, if that makes sense, to do the idea. And then the other problem is, can I counter this? Okay, they counter this and now they have Delirium on their heat. But this is going to be 3. Yeah, the Mutagenic Growth is still dies to heat. Dang it. So now I wish I'd used the Growth, I guess. Found a second mana. And then the other problem is, like, if I don't have an idea, right? Like, if I don't have an idea on Chat Brew Tuesday or whatever, then I have to, like, force something to happen. And my experience in trying to force, like, the worst thing you can do when you're brewing is force an idea to happen. Like, they just have to come naturally. So it's really nice to happen when it happens, but you just can't force it. Meaning for decks that aren't quite there in my mind, maybe. Like, again, like, but for those, like, we'll just do it when it's appropriate. You know what I mean? Pioneer Rogues. Alright, I think I'll cast the Mutagenic Growth here. This will leave them dead to a top deck Bolt or Breach for Bolt. Better against Kroxa discard too. This looks pretty cool. I like Tetsuo a lot. I think this card's pretty good. The decision to play zero delve spells is odd to me. Like, I would think that like, you're playing 2 copies of Consider. The Considers don't seem like they do anything in this deck besides just cantrip. And, like, I don't know, I don't think that that's that important. Yeah, I would actually be, I think, somewhat inclined to get a playset of Thought Seizes in here too. Oh, okay, one thing I've also found, I think Drown, like, the problem with this deck, I've played Rogues in the past, is, like, Drown is just not that good, is the issue. It's, like, too slow against mono green, and then, like, Rakdos has Kroxa, which is not the biggest deal. It's okay against Rakdos, but it also, like, the blue decks have, like, these delve spells, which Drown doesn't, like, line up well against. So, like, Drown is just kind of mediocre, unfortunately. It's okay, you can play it, you should play it. It's, like, better because of your rogues and stuff, but it's still, like, not as good in Modern as it is in Modern, and not the card you want it to be. But I think I'd be, like, pretty interested in getting the playset of Thoughtseizes in here. Maybe cutting a Zareth, a Scavenger, and the 2 Considers. I think that would be an okay way to do it. Okay, assuming they don't have counter magic up, which I don't think we've seen off Bauble. They're dead to Breach, Bolt, Lava Dart, Portable Hole, Swiftspear plus Prowess thing, and we have, 2 draws here. Okay, so we can pay for Spell Pierce if they have Spell Pierce. Alright. We are 8-0 on the day, which is sick. I think that Scavenger can be awkward to draw 2 copies of, and so can Zareth. And I would love to get back-to-back trophies again. Feel great after Monday and Tuesday. Push is almost never active. Yeah, they had a couple of Fables, or Fabled Passage, but yeah. Once on a Mold of 6. We have a kind of a land-heavy hand, but these land-heavy hands aren't as bad with the breaches in the deck. Alright, maybe we'll just Grapeshot them for 4 here. Well, not the best Manamorphose is. First time, I think we're playing against Murktide, obviously. It's the first time playing against it today. They keep kind of a land-heavy hand. We got Jegantha to bail us out. Okay, never mind. Our hand is currently great. I will just Jegantha here. I'm not gonna. We're like a little. We're not quite at jamming point yet. Also, like we have a lot of lands, and only one of them was a fetch land. Despite we have 10 fetches, 7 non-fetches, which is kind of a bad thing to have happened when you kind of want those fetch lands to incidentally fill the yard for breach. But we did have the triple Morphos, I guess. Maybe Jegantha gets a counter spell out of the hand. I think I'm going to play around Spell Pierce by Shocking. This is maybe not correct. I think it's correct. We played the Sultai Vengevine list that plays like Dredge before. I have played Sultai. I've played Vengevine lists. Like or something like the Crabvine deck. I've played it. Yeah. I've played everything, man. Tap Aladdin's ring, man. Marry at Lage with fling, man. Mage, 9 months, thank you. Would this deck be viable without the white splash? Would I put it instead of the portable holes? I mean, you have to play like Kozilek's Return. Because whatever you play there, it has to be an answer for Sanctifier and Vec, in my opinion. We haven't played against Sanctifier today. Sanctifier is really good against you. I think portable. I also like. I do really recommend the White Splash. All it costs you is 1 Sacred Foundry in your deck with 10 fetch lands, and then portable hole, which is like less expensive monetarily than just. Thank you, Jegantha. Less expensive monetarily than just than Kozilek's Return. I think maybe that card's not expensive anymore. Is it worth playing Amber? We don't have any legends in this deck. Rather play Darksteel Relic. Because that card's at least indestructible. Mage, again, thank you for the 9 months. Portable Hole also feels better against Shadow 2, where you get to exile Kroxa and Ledger Shredder for 1 mana. And being mana efficient is just really important, of course. Okay, exiling another land from the top of my library. That's 7 out of 17 out so far. It looks like they're going to Murktide. Are there any good green answers to Sanctifier? There's not usually good green answers to any 2-mana creatures, right? I don't know if we can ever Storm Kill here. I know I'm putting myself to 8 also, which is kind of awkward, but... So I can go Channeler first. I can exile 2 of the Manamorphoses, just leave 1 in the yard. Exile the Mage. The Lava Dart will give me... Ooh. I think I have to graveyard that. Let's take red. Interesting. Alright, let me Lava Dart the Murktide Regent. This is a really good graveyard filler, storm enabler here. Can probably cast another Manamorphose first. Feels bad to be exiling or graveyarding those. We've also been drawing creatures instead of like helpful spells for the Channeler, which is not ideal. Yeah, just all creatures. We need to draw some more non-creatures here. So I can play Sprite Dragon and Chump Block for a turn, but we just don't really have a plan. I think I'm going to concede. They have Ragavan, Chump. We have no Bauble triggers. Yeah, we're going to go to game 2. Tough. This may be a no sideboard matchup, though. I could bring in Portable Hole for Hearse and every non-Murktide threat. But I don't want to play the full 4. I would play like 2, and it's kind of awkward to like just play 2. Could have topped the Bauble and dumped the next card for one more look. Yeah, but it's just way better if we like hit another Manamorphose or like another Bauble off the Manamorphose, if that makes sense. Like to give us like an extra card. Why not Mage from hand and double bolt Merc? At one point I had 3 red. Did I have 3 red and enough cards to do that? I mean, this was the higher upside line. Like, the fact that we hit creatures off of our Manamorphose draws was a little unlucky. Like, long creatures are going to be able to, like, maybe dig us for Grapeshot and stuff. Although, it was a hard spot, no matter what we did. I think I want access to a couple copies of Portable Hole. I want all the Grapeshots. Manamorphose and a Bauble. Bauble will still go to the yard so you can Morphose again. Yeah, but the card that, like, you know, the higher upside play, I'm pretty sure is just graveyarding the card, right? Because like we don't get to draw, so like if we draw a Bauble or Manamorphose, we get like an extra card in the yard, which is really nice. There, I was going to play Heartless Summoning later today. I'm going to be. I have like a Heartless Summoning variant. I'm kind of wanting to test. Can you post a list to your Twitter? You can get the deck by typing !deck. I might post to Twitter later. I'm not going to just pause to do it now, and you can get on the Stream Decker or something. If Stream Decker's down, you know, I apologize. I think we just tapped Steven's pass. You might have shore up in the main. So my thinking is that Breach just gives you so much resiliency to removal that you don't need to play a card like that. Oh, they kept a one-lander? They graveyarded a Spell Pierce. So I guess we can bait a Spell Pierce with Manamorphose. They found their second land. Was a decision by keeping a hand with no threat in it. And this is an example of a matchup that is long and grindy, and having removal for turn 1 DRC plus iteration plus protection for a creature when we find one is, in my opinion, just not a hand you can mulligan. Especially on the play. Mulliganing on the play against the 1-for-1 deck is tough. So I shock there to play around Spell Pierce / Flusterstorm, so we're going to be able to resolve our iteration, although not for as much value as normal. Although, never mind, as much value as normal. The rare 3-for-1 Expressive Iteration. They have their own Expressive Iteration. We'll see if theirs is a 3-for-1. Hole of Rending. It's just more mana efficient against Sanctifier and then Shadow decks, which is like really Shadow Hammer. Oh, 7/7 Murktide. Need to find like a Sprite Dragon. Huh. I think that works. Are they just like snapping off a block? Oh wow, we did find a Sprite Dragon. Okay, so now we play that. Start them. And then the Murktide is a chump blocker, funny enough. Then we have Breach for next turn. They're dead if they don't block. Hard for them to play around double Mutagenic Growth too. But also getting this Sprite Dragon really big is really valuable as well. So this is 5/5. So I need to think of, am I flashing back Lava Dart here? I think no. Alright. Kind of, maybe we should have the 4th Mutagenic in the sideboard for these red matchups. Tyro, 9 months, thank you. I think on the draw, I'm gonna go down to 2 Morphos, up to 4th Bauble. I don't know. Those numbers are kind of weird, still kind of messing around with the plans. But against the Spell Pierces especially. Okay, on the draw. Pretty easy keep. I think I want to fetch. I think bolting just to like slow down a Murktide and give them less control over the draws is a bit more important than anything else here. This hand seems a bit soft. It's not a perfect. This isn't his easy keep. I don't know what to say. This is an easy keep on the draw against Murktide. I think I like playing double Swiftspear here, better against Counterspell and 1 removal spell, worse against 2 removal spells. So they're going to do damage post-combat to play around Mutagenic Growth, maybe? Maybe they just have no removal spell. That's always best case scenario, right? They probably should cast that first. They could have found Bolt or Heat, right? Maybe they have Brotherhood End? Floated in one of the thin. That's probably not that relevant, especially when it's like Consider instead of like a other cantrip. Yeah, I think it's just a mistake. But you're right, that would be the reason. Let's cast the Manamorphose here. It'd be great to draw another 1-mana spell and really start to overwhelm my opponent. Careful what you wish for, I guess. that can be good. That could be a good card here potentially. You could also play Chain to the Rocks instead of Portable Hole, which misses Rest in Peace and misses Hearse, but does hit Murktide. Oh, whoops, I meant to get Sacred Foundry, damn it. So discuss the iteration this turn. Playing the land to play around Spell Pierce, Flusterstorm. That was a big punt on the fetch there. I have to get basic Mountain, I think, so this Murktide is not just a 2-turn clock by itself. So maybe just can't cast this. I can also maybe flashback the Manamorphose and cast it. Breach, 1, 2. Go Breach, Morphos, Grapeshot plus anything else. You can also just like take Iteration, and then Iteration next turn, take it from Murktide, and like just not play around Lightning Bolt or Dash Ragavan. Taking the Iteration is also a bit better against a counterspell. Where like they counter the Iteration this turn, then maybe I can Breach and win the following turn. Close, tough one. Okay, so it's mega punished for not getting the Sacred Foundry. I totally meant to do it and just kind of like... It took me like a minute to have to do it and then I just autopiloted. Not dead. Not as alive as I'd like to be. Alright, so I think we have to pay... Hope they don't have Creature to Crew Hearse now either. They only have 1 card in their hand, so it's just not like they can have that much. I guess we can look, and if their top card is a creature, we can leave back Swiftspear to chump block, but we're never winning that game, so... Bitter Reunion, wowza. Bitter Reunion plus Murktide is kind of cool. And boy, does everybody love a good Bitter Reunion, but... Oh, they can pump the Murktide, right, never mind. Then I guess we just don't have outs. Yeah, they see the line, okay. Okay, we fall to a sad... Sad, 8-1 on the day. Still playing for a 4-1 after the 5-0. Why Sprite Dragon more icons? With 4 Breach, you're just really resilient to removal, so you can play Sprite Dragon, I think. I'm going to keep this against the Jegantha on the draw. Manamorphose seems to be weaker against the blue decks. This is just like not a good argument, I think. I don't know. Like, it gets spell pierce sometimes. It's just not that big a deal. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I think it's if it's like a little bit weaker against blue and Morphos is no, it's not even about that. It's you're a Prowess Underworld Breach deck. How do you not have 4 Manamorphose in your list? You know what I mean? It's just, to me, it's just that simple. To me, it's just that simple. Yeah, there's a league prediction. All right, so let's keep that. And I guess I hold the Bauble for next turn. The Grapeshots, yeah, the Grapeshots have been good. I think the first copy is really, really good. I don't know that. I'm less confident in the second one, but the first one I think is really, really good. We haven't had like any combo kills with them yet, but they're like you just like 5 or 6 damage and close out games. Shouldn't have played the mountain. No, I want to get a tapped land here. They're like, we might be playing the mirror. Life total matters. Maybe have Castle Dart there. Sometimes Morphos puts you in funny mana, spots your mana timing, that's all I got. Yeah, it's just not good enough for me. You know what I mean? Again, y'all can play whatever cards you want, but to me, it's just like not more complicated than your Prowess, Underworld Breach, 4 mana more force are mandatory, and it's like to me, it's just wild to not play them. It's just maddening to not play them. What it not right to bolt their face there and they bolt growth in response? Well, I don't know exactly what my opponent's doing. I might need these. If I'm playing the mirror, I might need to remove an opposing creature. I think I would have rather darted than bolt there too. Or if I'm just getting a prowess trigger. I think we're playing the mirror. Could be breach still, I guess. Like grinding station breach. We also might have, I think we have lethal if we draw land for sure. I don't know if we have lethal otherwise. Four prowess triggers for 5 plus 9, which is 14. 9 plus 5. I was counting the 1 power. Keep that on top so we can go bolt plus breach this turn. Still not sure. They shouldn't be able to. I mean, I guess they theoretically can combo me. Yeah, we're just playing the mirror. Playing the mirror for the trophy is cool. Yeah, I don't know. This happens a lot too when we're talking about like what cards to play in archetypes like this. It's like a lot of times. Like so often, I don't know. I just feel like I don't understand the argument on the other side. Like these arguments of like, I know people are just kind of playing devil's advocate. I'm not like calling anybody out or saying like I know people are just trying to find reasons, but like Manamorphose being awkward on the colors is not very relevant. It's not that bad on the colors either if you just play the deck and learn the reps a little bit. And worse against Spell Pierce, like almost doesn't matter at all to me, and when it's just gonna get a card most of the time anyways. And in your Underworld Breach Prowess deck, I just can't imagine not playing it. We can move on. So I think if I lightning bolt this dragon, it's really unlikely to get them. So I think I'm just going to cast Breach, attack, and then Mutagenic Growth, whichever one they don't block. Yeah, we lost to Murktide. Okay, Lava Dart on my Channeler. I think I should just Flashback Dart here. If I get Delirium, I just don't have to cast the Mutagenic Growth yet. I can also, like, there's just, like, not much reason for me to cast it on this yet. There's Delirium. Perfect. So again, although what's awkward about the lava dart, I guess, is I need to be very careful when I'm escaping, because if I lose delirium, my channeler is going to die if I don't first put a mutagenic growth on it. What are my thoughts on the leaks? I haven't looked at them. I don't really care that much. Yeah, one growth changes it. So, like, obviously, if they block here, then it gets kind of easy. I'm not currently planning on going to Philly. Like, Esther's birthday and our anniversary and Valentine's Day is all in February. Um, so, I'd probably just have to be in love mode all month, you know? Okay. Okay, so now I'm not in, because this is on the stack, I can't escape it again. Should be okay. We get to kill the dragon. I'm doing this now so that I get the extra surveil, of course. Although maybe I should have cast the bolt from the yard, so I still have bolt in my hands. We're gonna get to Bauble a bunch. Keeping Swiftspear on top would be really good. So I guess it's just a matter of if I graveyard this, do I get one less surveil? So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, no, I can keep this on top. I still get 3 baubles no matter what. Why didn't I bolt from the yard? So my thinking was I wanted to just draw an extra card, but I should have bolted from the yard because the bolt in hand is better than almost any card I could draw. Yes, this is a 5/6. So if they dart my Swiftspear, I need to mutagenic growth. That's okay. I could just mutagenic growth. Playing second Grapeshot over 4th growth. Not that many bolts in the meta. I'm only playing 14 creatures in this build, so it's kind of hard to play 4 growth with 14 creatures. Did I miscount on the... Oh, I did miscount on the Swiftspear. I could have got one more card. I mean, I still get to draw Swiftspear, which is pretty good. Their top card is just Scalding Tarn, which is good for me too. It's a good one too. Just all good draws. What would I say is better than stock Prowess about this list? Well, the biggest thing is I just got off this tangent, but stock Prowess doesn't play Manamorphose in your Underworld Breach Prowess deck, and it's crazy to me. 4 Breach is also correct, I think, and I think I really feel very strongly that the first copy of Grapeshot is great. I think that, again, the second copy of Grapeshot is more of a flex spot in my mind at the moment. But what's awkward, what I like about the second Grapeshot is, to cut it, you would play like the 3rd dragon probably, which would be okay. But with 15 creatures, you probably want to play 4 growths at that point, or you're inclined to play 4 growths, but you only have 1 spot. And so, like, with Sprite Dragon's a little worse without 4 growths in the deck, or the 3rd dragon is. It's very marginal, but I like the 2 Grapeshots. Grapeshot's just like a pretty reasonable card to draw. Oh, the growth was on the stack, so it wasn't in the graveyard. That makes sense. That's what I missed. Big stack. And also, like, for the light of the stage, just one more time, you have 4 breach, 4 expressive iterations. You have so much card advantage. You just don't need to play 11 card advantage spells. Yeah, so again, this is another good point. We've said this a lot today, but this is a really important point to repeat. So with 3 breaches, when I was like a little less on the breach plan, I thought the Iconoclast, making you more resilient to removal, was more important. But after playing with 4 breaches, you're just so good against removal decks. You just have a great early game. You win with your early game a lot of the time, and then in the late game, you just bury them in advantage with breach. You just totally crush them. So I just don't think that you need to play... You just don't need to play... keep losing my train of thought. Iconoclast because of that. So I do have to flashback my dart here. But then I don't have to do anything else, which is nice. So even if they have a bolt, I wreck them. If I had to play the Mutagenic Growth first, they could respond with bolt plus dart, but I just don't have to play it first. Magus, 21 months, I can thank you. Portable Hole also better in the mirror. So I think we're cutting... Okay, Sprite Dragon's weird because in some ways it's your best threat because it gets the counters. In some ways it's the worst threat because it's 2 mana. I think with Portable Hole, like assuming my opponent has copied my list, which is not definitely what's happened, but if that is what happened, I think you want to cut the dragons. This game felt like it could have been one way earlier. Well, I mean, what could I have done differently? I mean, I won the turn after that big breach turn, and my opponent was able to stop me from that turn, right? I got 2 darts, probably. I think the turns were just really long, so maybe it feels like we could have won way earlier, but I think we played correctly. I mean, I should have probably graveyarded the other Swiftspear. Maybe about abundant growth and creativity. It's an interesting thought. It's interesting. Yeah, we're up a game. That was game 1. It looks like the record thing hasn't updated, but that was game 1. I think we had a window to bolt their Sprite Dragon on the big breach turn. That would not have worked. They had Lightning Bolt plus Lava Dart, or although I guess if we do that, then maybe we get to save our creature from the bolts. It's kind of interesting. It's like really, really risky if they have their own Mutagenic Growth, though. Caster's Deck. Yeah, I think it's interesting. One thing I don't love about it is it doesn't help with domain necessarily for Leyline Binding if you play Binding, but you might not play Binding. Is Tracker bugged? Maybe. It's been working so far today, but it isn't. You're right. It's not currently working. But a Bauble getting on the play in this matchup is a pretty big hit for them too. So usually I like to play in these kind of hands where you just have all of your threats. I basically always like to go any number of mages into any number of channelers into any number of Swiftspears. The big exceptions being like if you need to crack Bauble, play Bauble turn 1, then you play Channeler first so that you can surveil into lands, because that's why I'm assuming you need to play Bauble turn 1, and then Swiftspear before that for damage that you would lose out otherwise. When they cast the dart the first time before the counter round, we had a window to bolt before blocks. Yeah, but I mean that line doesn't play around Mutagenic Growth. You know what I mean? But like I don't know. I think we played that turn well, with the exception of missing that Mutagenic Growth was on the stack, and we could have bobbled one more time. Yeah, well, with me being on the draw and then mulliganing on the play, I'm like pretty comfortable to just play my threats out here and then take the 1-for-1s if they have removal. If they don't, that's also good. And then we have the iteration to try to start to bury them. The risk here is if they have a good Underworld Breach, of course, but I don't know exactly what we can do about that with this hand. How far off is Stormwing? Super far off. I don't know. Like, Stormwing doesn't, you can't play it if you bobble. It's not that good. It's okay. It's not that, it's like worse with Breach than Sprite Dragon too. Canisters have played 4 growth on the board. Is it just for Blood Moon matchups? Kind of funny. I don't know if it's good. Definitely like to find a removal spell if possible. Kind of creature flooded. And maybe flooded too. We're doing okay. Could die this turn. They have 3 cards. I game 3 on the play. Yeah. I've heard that argument a few times. Like Prowess isn't playing a Storming Entity, so you don't want Manamorphose, which is, I also think, just not something I agree with at all. But the thing about Prowess is just so good that you can play Light Up the Stage and just have a great record with it. Andrea does it all the time. Prowess is just so good. Like, this is a really hard thing to do in Magic. Like one of the most difficult things when you're brewing and tuning is when you're playing a list and you're just crushing with it, and like identifying like what's bad about the list or what's suboptimal in the list, despite the fact that you're crushing with it. How inbred the meta must have been that Prowess players think Storming Entity was the reason to play Manamorphose. I don't know. I mean, I think at that time nobody questioned Manamorphose and Prowess, but the combo of Morphose and the Entity was like an incredible burst of speed that was hard to beat. They have 1 card in their hand. If they send in with everything, do we die to Bolt? Bolt puts me down to 8 life plus exactly 8 damage, so I do have to block. I'm dead to Dart for sure. If I don't block, I think if I do block, that's 9 plus 7. Sorry, 2. Sorry. Just 9 total. 9 total. If I block the channeler. So I have to block. Dead to Mutagenic Growth plus Bolter Dart. Or maybe double growth. So if they're bolting me, I guess they could be looking for Dart in the yard. But this signifies that they just have the Mutagenic Growth, because they're so likely to die. I think they should be bolting my creature of mine if they don't have the growth. But they do have it. Okay, so we're gonna go to game 3. I thought I was pretty ahead, but just couldn't find a removal spell after like 6 looks. If they have Bolt Dart, they skill channel pre-combat. No, because they can't cast Bolt and Dart. And they have 1 mana. Or I guess, like, yeah, maybe they could have sequenced differently. But at least in that spot where they were thinking a long time, they only had 1 mana. Yeah, the mirror seems pretty interesting. Awesome Volpert, very cool. Big achievement. Yeah, Stormwing was just so unkillable. Yeah, not to harp. I mean, we do harp on it too much, but to go back to the whole blue-white hard deck meme, one of the like best things about playing blue-white is you just don't have to do much math. Like this deck, you have to do so much math, but in blue-white, you just get to sit there and like just jot down life totals as they change. Your opponent will even tell you what the life total changes are. You can ignore your opponent's life total completely. You can just like not even write it down. It doesn't matter. They can be at whatever life total they want to be. You just don't have to do any math at all. It's awesome. If you're crushing with lists isn't the right thing to do nothing. Sometimes. But also sometimes you're crushing with a list that's suboptimal. I've done it plenty of times, and sometimes it's easy to overthink it, and it's hard. There's a lot of nuance. You have to count how big your Shark Typhoon is. So I think I'm going to bolt this Swiftspear end of turn, presumably. Okay, I guess I'm going to bolt that end of turn. Waste Steam Vents. Yeah. I think Hogak is a really funny example. Bridge from Below was so unjustly banned. Not only did they ban it, the deck got stronger because it wasn't even like that good in the list. It was okay, but the deck just didn't need the combo kill with Alter that badly. And like the deck got I agree that it got better after they banned Bridge. So unjustified. Okay. I could weirdly have lethal here. I don't think I do. Let's see. 3 more prowess triggers. Dart, bolt them down to 12. Yeah, not quite. I just want to graveyard that. Get the, or, not Delirium, sorry, but closer to Delirium. Right with Breach's graveyard. Would Bridge even go any deck? I don't know. Like, I feel like you could build around it and be interesting. I think it'd have cool counterplay with like the Evoke Incarnations because those will kill Bridge. I don't think it'd be very good, but I am in favor of giving linear graveyard decks a buff. I don't think Bridge from Below would be enough of a buff, but I think it would be like it should have never been banned in the first place. There's a lot of cool counterplay to it. I think that I also think Bridge, like, you can be scared of the card. I think it's fine to be scared of it, but it was also a card that existed in Modern for years and years and barely did anything, and shouldn't have been banned when it was banned. It was a joke when they banned it. Free Bridge from Below. Bridge from Below did nothing wrong. Legacy Gag players play Alter. Well, Legacy is always like a different animal where like being able to combo kill faster was like more important in Legacy than it is in Modern. It should never been printed in the first place. Yeah, again, I've heard this point a few times. I think it's like that's a fine opinion to have. That Breach is like just not a real Magic card, and it's just, you know, just let it die. Okay, they have no cards in their hands. I think they put all cards in the yard here too. It looks like they're playing my list, which is really cool. So worst case scenario, I double dart. I think I'm gonna try to high roll a little bit here. There's also a really good chance they just don't block. Okay, they don't block, so I think I'm gonna dart them since their channeler has to attack. Okay, so I keep Scalding Tarn on top. Let's me go Breach, Bolt, Flashback Dart, look for Mutagenic Growth or Bauble. It's 1, 2. Looks. I guess Breach, Bolt, Dart is like just not too bad by itself, anyways. Yugi, 33 months, thank you. I think Grave Troll might be safe as shit, man. I know this is maybe, I don't know. I think you should literally never unban Golgari Grave Troll. I think my personal ban list philosophy, if a card is banned, gets unbanned, and has to be banned again a second time, you should never unban a card a second time either. Just like it had its chance, it failed, it stays dead. That's my philosophy. Grave Troll is also like way better than Bridge from Below too. Let's not even pretend. Okay, I don't think there's, well, Mutagenic Growth, this to 5 toughness. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna start off by darting them, and then seeing maybe if I find Mutagenic Growth, I'll cast Swiftspear instead of the bolts. Is Cabal Therapy a safe printing into Modern? I don't know. We do find the Mutagenic Growth, which I think that this means I cast the Swiftspear. Swiftspear that I have one. Yeah, this plays around Mutagenic Growth a bit better because if I bolt and then go, I mean, I think either line should be lethal, but. Cabal Therapy would be kind of fun. I don't know. I'm kind of into it. Looks like we're gonna get a win here, putting us to 9-1 on the day. Although losing this game against the Mirror wouldn't have felt too bad. Is this lethal already? No, one more. All right, let's open these chests, and then let's do another one. Let's do another league with the deck. I'm pretty hyped on it. It's performing really well. We need some wins this week. Replenish the play points. Pay out a league prediction.